Hello and welcome to Archvelder's Hacks with Archvelder and his amazing hacks. In this video I'll be discussing 3 recent leveling exploits I've uploaded to YouTube which proved very popular. Now whenever I or indeed any Warcraft YouTuber uploads some effective new method, inevitably within days or even hours you will start getting multiple comments stating that the method is fixed. This happens whether the method is actually fixed or not. There are various reasons for this. Sometimes people can just get confused, which is understandable. Exploits are often very sensitive to minor errors in execution. Sometimes people want to keep the exploit all to themselves and stop anyone else taking advantage, and sometimes people just troll or are actively hostile to the exploit community. Consequently, I thought it was time for me to set the record straight and revisit all my recent uploads to do with leveling. This video, entitled Shadowlands Leveling Alt's Fast Exploit 50-60, was uploaded on the 10th of December 2020, when Shadowlands was relatively new. To summarize the video, I outlined a method whereby you could group up your leveling character with a low-level character in time walking mode on a starter account. You then turned on party sync and flew your leveling character around low-level zones, killing rare mobs. Links to all of the original videos are contained in the description below. This method continues to work to this day, and it looks very much like Blizzard have no interest in stopping this particular technique. It is the method I've used most to level my own characters, apart from the 2-button leveling method on my Patreon. Each rare you kill with rested experience yields more than a typical quest at the same level, and few, if any, players could complete a quest faster than you could kill these rares. The one downside with this method is that, to some extent, it was a victim of its own success. After I uploaded it, the video cleared 100,000 views, and I noticed when I tried the technique on some realms, there were often players who had been there before me, completing the rare circuit. However, as the initial surge of interest declined, this happened less. So if you want to use this method and find you're running into problems with competition, switch to grouping with a low-level character on a low-pop realm, or just go a bit farther away from the starter leveling zones. You'll rarely encounter much competition there. Now, there was a major error in this video as I stated incorrectly that you can use this method running 2 versions of Warcraft, provided they are different Battle.net accounts. This should have been provided they are on the same Battle.net account. Bear this in mind if you go to watch the original video now. Also, the information about Threads of Fate is now outdated. However, the basic method still works fine. The next leveling video was uploaded just 9 days after, on December the 19th, and is entitled Shadowlands Alt Leveling 50-60 New Exploit Glitched NPC. I do these really catchy titles. Now this is also about rare farming, but in this case just one rare. We start in the player's garrison in Draenor, again party syncing with a low-level starter edition account, and complete some of the initial quests in the Shadow Moon Valley chain, till we get to Shadows Awaken, where we fight Karnoth, Shard of the Dark Star. Karnoth awards full rare experience, and you can simply drop the quest and do it again and again and again. Now, this video in particular had numerous comments from people declaring it fixed, to the extent I thought it actually had been fixed until I checked it myself. The method is working absolutely fine and has been since I originally uploaded it. I'm guessing there were quite a few people who wanted to keep this one for themselves. Unlike the first video, there's no issue with competition since Karnoth is phased. It's worth noting this one, unlike the first video, which can be done by both factions, is strictly alliance only, as there is no quest chain in Shadow Moon Valley for Horde. The final video in the trio of leveling exploits can be done by both factions, and this one was called Shadowlands Leveling Exploit 50-60 Fast and Easy. Just rolls off the tongue, that one. And this was uploaded much later than the first two on the 17th of March 2021. The basis for this exploit again involved party sync, but this time, rather than simply killing a rare or rares, we used a powerful NPC army to kill for us in Nazjatar. This was part of the Nazjatar intro quests, where you were accompanied by 2 faction leaders who can kill pretty much anything in seconds. Now, surprisingly, given that Blizzard ignored the previous 2 exploits, this one was nerfed quite quickly. However, the fix was very sloppy, with a number of mobs in the area somehow being ignored to the extent that you could still actually do this quite effectively. Essentially, Blizzard just looked at the mobs I was killing in the video and didn't seem to think that anyone would go outside of that immediate area, so they missed a lot of mobs. Until recently, you could actually make this work with a slightly different route, but eventually they nerfed enough mobs that this is probably not worthwhile anymore. Unless, of course, you can figure out a way to force spawn mobs. But if I knew how to do that, then I'd probably publish that exclusively on my Patreon, given that Blizzard have shown some willingness to fix this trick. If you don't want to join my Patreon, it isn't that hard to figure it out. Just watch very closely what I'm doing here. Now, another thing people love to write in the comment sections of my videos is about how everyone's going to get banned for using this trick. And that very, very rarely happens. When it does happen, people give a clear warning at the start of the video. In this particular case, with all of these videos, so far as I know, no one has had any kind of countermeasures taken against them, and I fully expect that to remain the case indefinitely. Blizzard, however, do sometimes nerf these things, so it's always a good idea to do an exploit while it's active. Generally speaking, the exploits I upload on this channel remain active for a lot longer than people actually think. If you look back through my archive of videos, you'll find a surprising amount that still works quite well. And if you look at it now, then you probably get that exploit all to yourself for all practical purposes. So it's worth looking at some of the older content. If you like this video, why not subscribe? And if you really liked it, why not join my super secret Patreon feed where material too hot for YouTube, such as the Forspawn method I just mentioned, can be found. If you can't afford it, then I completely understand. Your support here on YouTube is very much appreciated. I try not to ever ask people to do this because almost literally every YouTuber says it and it just becomes noise. But all that like, comment and subscribe stuff really does make a difference. And if you absolutely hated this video, dislike it, as YouTube treats it as a signal of social engagement and boosts it higher in search, almost as much as a like does. I know, it's very perverse. That's how we got the Paul brothers and Honison. Thanks for watching. This has been Archvelder.